Ha! Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today, I have another Power Rangers review for you. I know it's been a while, and I am very behind. I recognize that. I know I have a lot of Power Rangers reviews to catch up on, Beast Morphers, and especially Lightning Collection videos to catch up on, but I will be working on them soon. I am kind of getting back into the swing of things with the studio setup, and so I'm excited to jump into this because this is part of the Lightning Collection. It's just not a Lightning Collection action figure as we have typically looked at, but more a roleplay weapon. So we have the Mighty Morphin Dragon Dagger. Now, I know what you may be saying. Didn't Bandai America release a Legacy Dragon Dagger that was pretty awesome? Yes. Yes, they did. And so when I saw that Hasbro was releasing this, my first thought was, oh, why? Do I want it? Why do I need it? And then I saw some of the functionality, and I think they did something different enough that this might be worth it. Now, which one is better? We're going to find out and kind of, do a little comparison. But this one does have some different functionality, which I think is pretty cool. So let's look at the packaging first and foremost, because the packaging for the Lightning Collection is always fantastic, and this one is no exception. So you can see the cool little artwork of the Dragonzord outlined in the background there, Mighty Morphin Dragon Dagger. This is an 18+ item here, so I think even the legacy items weren't even 18+, but Hasbro is definitely letting people know this is for the collectors, the adult fans out there. It does need 2 AA batteries, not included, so keep that in mind. And look at that fantastic artwork of the Green Ranger. This is some of the best part about the Lightning Collection boxes, is that artwork. Of course, you also have the Dragon Dagger right there, lightning bolt, MMPR logo on the side, just warning labels and Mighty Morphin on the side there. The Green Ranger extends onto this side here. So there's that. Nothing fancy on the bottom. Let's take a quick look at the back as well. So there's a couple different things. So there's a mode selector. So this thing does come with a stand as well, which is different. But you can switch between different modes. As you can see, it does glow as well. And you can also unlock the Dragonzord call. You can remix some music, activate the power glow effect. So there's some interesting functionality there. So yeah, let's see what goes on here, because look, this packaging actually opens up to reveal the Dragon Dagger inside. Look at that. So there it is right there. Really, really cool packaging. Nice display. And at the top, they have this cool informational thing here about the Green Ranger. It says, trumpet knife, flute sword? No, of course not. It's the Green Ranger's Dragon Dagger, the one that plays the classic iconic Dragonzord call without ever moving your mouth. So I like that they're kind of, poking fun at that whole thing. Dragonzord in the full artwork, which looks glorious. So yeah, enough. I know I always spend a lot of time on the box. I spent more than 3 minutes on it already, but it's just fantastic stuff. And this alone, is worth getting to have on display. But we're going to open this up and take a look at the Dragon Dagger, so let's do that. Alright, we have the Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger out of the packaging. Here it is, and complete with the display stand as well, which is pretty cool. This is a nice way to have it on display. Currently, my Legacy one, I would just kind of have sitting flat on a shelf, which obviously just doesn't look as cool. So in a way, it actually saves space on the shelf, and it's kind of, rising above some of the other things on there. So this is actually a nice way to display it. It definitely helps my display situation as well. So let's take this off first and take a quick look at the actual stand, first of all. So it does come with these 2 pieces detached, and you can actually remove them pretty easily. So these 2 pieces right there, but basically very, plain, cheap plastic feel to it. Nothing super special. This is not going for the die-cast metal approach that Bandai did with their Dragon Dagger, and the stand included as well. This has definitely got a cheaper feel to it, more of a toy feel to it rather than kind of a prop, which is what the Legacy version almost feels like. So basically what you have here, so you have your Green Ranger, and that's really it. There's nothing. I guess this kind of looks like the Power Morphers, sort of, like very, very vaguely, kind of like a Pokeball, actually. But there's not really much else to it. It's just a plain display stand. And the way that it works is basically you just have it sit so that this little part right here kind of rests on the bottom stand, and the blade is kind of sitting in there, and there you have it. So pretty cool way to display it. And before I get into the Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger, I'm sure somebody's going to ask the question, does the Legacy one fit? And the answer is, well, if I move that out of the way, yes, it absolutely does. So it fits very, very well. So, you know, in case you were wondering, if you want to use the stand with the Legacy one, mix and match, totally, totally possible. All right, so let's move the stand out of the way. Oops, I'm pushing buttons on this thing. And let's take a quick look at the detail of this up close, then we'll do some comparisons and get into functionality. So here is the Dragon Dagger, pretty good size overall. And, you know, it definitely, I'm used to the Legacy one, so it definitely has a lighter feel to it, but you know, it feels pretty decent, feels pretty solid. Oops, I'm pushing buttons here on accident. I don't believe there's like an on-off switch. I think it's probably just going to turn off after a certain point in time automatically, so I keep accidentally pushing things. But you do have to put in the batteries right here, fairly accessible. You do have speaker right there as well. And yeah, basically they went with a bit more of a kind of worn look to this Dragon Dagger, and so I suppose this is probably a bit more realistic in its look and feel to the show. I'm trying to see if I can glance at that picture that they put in there. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you do look real close at the packaging, not that picture, but this one. Real close. It's a little hard to tell, but there is some wear and tear around the Dragon Dagger a little bit. So, you know, I guess... oh, and actually this picture too. So I guess that's more accurate. Oops, hitting the camera now. I guess it's just gonna, you know, matter depending on which way you want it. It's kind of like the Power Morpher, how they had the weathered coins and then the shiny coins they released as well. So it's, you know, your preference, but they went with the weathered look here. But overall, you know, they got all the main details of this thing pretty crafted in. You can see your dragon symbol right there at the bottom as well. So pretty good overall. Yeah, so comparison-wise then, before we get into functionality, here's the Legacy version. And like I said, this is going to be a bit more of your shinier feel to it rather than the weathered look. Size-wise, you're looking at almost exactly the same. I think the Lightning Collection one is a teeny bit longer. You can't see it on camera because I'm sitting them side by side, but blade length is a teeny bit longer. And you can see at the bottom, you know, it's mix and match, right? Like this doesn't have the dragon symbol at the bottom. The Legacy one, right? The Lightning Collection painted in some of those gold lines right there, so that's nice. You're going to see obviously the different type of gold here, good or bad, because this starts to fade a little bit as you use it with the Legacy version. And then here as well, different shades of gold, all wrapping around. You do have, you know, that right there. And yeah, and then from the back, trying to like not push buttons, but it's like really hard to do. Everything else is pretty much painted similarly. There's an extra little gold line there that's not painted on the Legacy one. So it's got a teeny bit more paint to it on the Lightning Collection one. But certainly they're going for a different approach here. And so let's get into it. So by the way, this piece here does not move, unlike the Legacy one. So where you would push into it and activate things, this actually does not move, doesn't do anything for the Lightning Collection version. Instead, there's some other different things that it does. And so what I'm going to do, though, in order to demo the functionality, I'm going to turn off my studio lights so that you can actually see it glow a little bit better. Because, yes, it does glow. And so that's one of the main distinctions that you're going to see with this thing. So as you push some buttons here, you're going to see different parts. It's random. So I push the first button a few times. So it glows in different parts randomly. Same sound, so that each button is always going to be a certain sound. But it glows in random spots, and same with the middle button. Although, actually, never mind. Maybe the middle button's always here. But the top one definitely is random. Oops, sorry. Top button. See, top button was there, right? It's all over. The middle button always seems to be here, okay? And then the bottom button... Yeah, bottom button also is random. So, I don't know what the reason behind that is, but I guess the middle button is always there? Whatever. So there's that, but the other thing that you can do if you just want to see the full glowing effect is the little toggle here, which was the on-off switch in the Legacy version. Here, it activates the glowing effect. And it looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely looks pretty neat. You can even see through all the way around from the side of the blade there. It actually looks pretty nice. Definitely a cool way to have it on display. It kind of has that constant humming sound there, but that is a thing that it does. And you can still push the buttons and do what we were just doing. And after a second it will then resume, so I can push buttons. You'll see that pushing the buttons doesn't change the lights, although you do notice that with the middle button, this part does flicker. So that's a little weird, but so you can still do everything that you were doing, and then when you're done, you let go, and the sound effect continues, basically. So this mode, it sounds like from in playing around with it, it just kind of stays like this. So you can determine if you want to keep the glow or not, and so you can turn that off at any point. So on and off. So pretty cool overall. Now let's get back to the sounds, right? So again, you can push these 3. You can also push 2 at the same time or 3 at the same time. That doesn't change. More parts of it don't necessarily get lit up, because you see I can push all 3 and it's still only lighting up a certain section, right? But the idea is each one corresponds to a certain note. And so the instructions will tell you, and I'll pull up the instructions if anyone wants to see them for reference, but these are the instructions here, and it will tell you, including the actual button combination right there, if you want to activate and call the Dragonzord. So let's, oh actually wait, sorry, I forgot about this button down here. So this also randomly activates lighting effects, so this thing down here is a button. So interesting there. Alright, so you don't actually need this one though for the activation of what we're about to do. So let me go through the notes here. Oops, wrong one. So you see if you play through it wrong, it doesn't do anything. So if you get the right combination, it fully glows, and then you hear the Dragonzord. So let me do that one more time. And so far, as you're doing it, you're noticing that it's kind of fully glowing, right? So it kind of knows if you're doing the right combination. So let me do it again. Each time I do it, it's glowing more and more and more until the top, right? Let's do it one last time and watch the glow increase after each note. So that's pretty cool. Now, the one thing that I will say that kind of annoys me, I like being able to, activate the sound like that, but the sound goes da 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 da. I want to be able to play it at that speed, right? Because that's accurate. I don't want to have to push buttons and then wait for it to play, because that's not actually accurate, right? Like you want to be able to play it like this, like that speed, right? But the problem is you can't. At least I've tried. Let me try and do it at that speed. This whole, that part you can do quick, but then this part here at the end, I can't do that one quick. If you could try and do it quick, it doesn't recognize the second button. So it just says ba-ba instead of ba-ba-ba. Like it misses that note. So I'll try one more time. And then that just sounds awkward. So the fastest that I can do it accurately is, which didn't activate it. See, that's what it's supposed to be. Ba 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 da da. So that kind of bugs me, to be honest, because the play functionality is so that I can make the sound. But if I can't make the sound like it's supposed to be, that's kind of a bummer. So that's one disappointment with it. But it is nice that you can kind of activate the sound, unlike the Legacy one, which you just kind of push a button and it will do it, right? So let's get into the next mode here. So to switch modes, you use this little dial, basically. So I'm going to turn it to the right, and you hear that sound, and now it's in a new mode. And this new mode basically will play sound effects. So the first one there did that. The second one's going to do the sound that we just activated. So if you want to kind of do just like how the Legacy one is, where you just push a button and it plays a sound, you can do that. And then third, this is cool. I'm a fan of when they play like a theme song like that, like the instrumental. It's cool. I like the song, and that's a lot of fun. So I do appreciate that. This button doesn't do anything in this mode. Now, you can, again, still do the glowing thing and do all the same stuff. So you can mess around with it while it's glowing if you want to do that too, which is also fun. And of course, as you're done, then the sound effect comes back. So that's pretty cool. So that's the sound effect mode, so to speak. So the last mode, so I had to twist it all the way to the right for the sound effect mode, right? In the middle is back to the notes that we were doing. Twist it to the left all the way. Actually, no, sorry. I'm wrong about that. So when it's all the way to the right, so there's really two switches. So all the way to the left, which is your buttons, and all the way to the right, which is the sound effects, right? But when you're in this mode, you can actually play the theme song in 3 different ways and remix it together. So this is kind of like an extra thing that nobody really asked for, but it's kind of cool. So let me do that. In order to do that, you have to hold down the button. So the button itself doesn't do anything, but hold it down, and let's press the first one and listen to that remix. So that's pretty cool. I like that beat. That was fun. Let's try the middle button. So hold this down and middle button. A little bit more classic style, but heavy on the guitar, which is kind of cool. And then the third one, so very, very different style, but kind of cool. I like, you know, just that sort of club style remix almost, right? Now here's the cool part. You can mix and match. So what happens is you hold down the button, push one of them, and then you can hold the button and push, you know, different ones, and it'll swap between them at that point in the theme song. So the theme song is a certain length for each of these, and so you can, you know, switch back and forth until the song ends. So let's start and just kind of mix and match here. So it makes that sound effect as you swap between them, and you can kind of see some of the beats are a little hard to mix together, but you can do it. So let's try one more time. I don't know. know. It is a little hard to remix it to make it sound kind of decent, but I do like the fact that they have different mixes in there. It's kind of like an extra feature that they didn't have to add, but they did, and it's still pretty cool, right? So I do appreciate that. So let me bring in the Legacy version as well. And so I'm not going to go through all the features here, but just to talk the difference between the two, right? Legacy version, to me, feels like a prop. Like it's heavy, the die-cast metal. I can really get in here and, you know, play the sounds that I want and just kind of get in, get out. And it looks great on display. It's pretty cool, right? This one, to me, is kind of a bit more of a toy because, like I said, you can remix. You can mess around with it. You can even play the sound yourself and keep doing the whole thing. And this one glows, which is pretty cool as well, right? So which one is better? That's honestly just a matter of opinion in terms of what you're looking for, right? So do you want something that is more of a prop, more of a display piece, has some sounds and stuff too, or do you want kind of that toy feature with the glowing blade? The glowing blade is pretty cool, right? Do you want this weathered look on the Lightning Collection one versus the clean and shiny look on the Legacy one? So if you have the Legacy one, and you're not sure if to get the Lightning one or not, you can kind of make your own judgment based on the functionality. Personally, if I had to pick between the two, I still like the Legacy one better. I appreciate the die-cast metal. It looks nice. And I still can play sounds and stuff too. I think what I really like from the Lightning Collection one the most is the glowing blade. I think that actually looks pretty solid. But also, I will say the stand is kind of nice too. Granted, the stand is cheap. It's nothing special. Right? It's really nothing special, but if you do happen to have both versions, you now have the benefit of being able to have the Legacy one on display, and you can play around with the Lightning Collection one, right? So you can just as easily do that, which is pretty nice. So I will say overall, I'm gonna turn the lights back on now. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it like this and make it glow. I will say overall, I think it's pretty cool, and I'm glad that I did get this. It does have different enough functionality that I think it was worth it. But you can make your own judgment. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Is this something that you are interested in getting? Do you have the Legacy one? And is this going to replace it or be an addition to it or what? Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are. I have more Lightning Collection reviews on the way, including a Red Ranger helmet, which I can't wait to share. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you later.